Good morning. I am higher vibrations and so are you. And boy, oh boy, has it been a day and a half. There's been a lot of energy coming in, and what a great time to have a conversation with my family. I'm so excited to have the two of you back together again. There's
Hello.
Hey,
been things that just in a so welcome both of you, Guardian and Yolanda. I'm so happy to have you back on. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. I missed you guys. I missed everybody. I've been pretty tired, pretty exhausted actually, needing a lot of rest. Today was no exception. I literally ran in here last minute, you know.
yeah,
Yeah. How about
Yeah.
you, Guardian?
pretty much the same. I was a bit earlier, but the same, I don't know, emotional, energetic roller coaster for the past 3 or 4 weeks, to be honest. Like, I feel a bit more stable right now, but
Me too.
I
Yeah.
really try to pay attention to like how I feel if I go off in a specific direction, like being too like over agitated or like my mind being too overactive or like over analyzing stuff, and I try to stop myself. But yeah, I always get there like this. I always tend to like stress out about stuff that I shouldn't be stressed out of, and just like constant subtle background agitation is there. I'm not sure why. I guess like a lot of bombastic energies are coming into our little planet right now, but I'm feeling it too. So, and it's very exhausting. By the way, like, did you have problems sleeping lately?
Yes.
Yeah. So last
It's
night I had
great.
my first solid 8 hours. Before that, I had serious issues like getting up around 3 a.m. and like not going back to sleep. So
Wow.
it was not pretty.
Sleep has
Yeah.
been nuts.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I completely agree. Some nights, okay, so about a week and a half ago, something like that, okay? Maybe like 8 days. For some reason, the number eight, 7 8's coming to mind. I was just needing to crash at about like, no kidding, like 7:30. And when I say needing to crash, it's like, a toddler who's been playing all day and getting into everything, and then all of a sudden you look up and they're on the floor. That was
Yeah.
me. And then I would have to just get up in the morning and try to channel the next day's or that day's message, where before I would be able to do things ahead of time. I mean, literally, I would crash and then wake up around 3:33. But my body was jumping up even before then. I had my alarm set. I should make that clear for 3:33 on those days that I crashed early. But my body would just like literally, I would sit straight up out of bed like I don't know what ages I have. I'm sure somebody remembers like who is it? Herman Munster, like the Frankenstein's monster from the old
Yeah.
sitcom, where how he walked. My body would just sit straight up in bed like the Munsters is how it felt.
Wow.
Very stiff and very alert at around three
Mhm.
o'clock in the morning or so. And so now
Interesting.
that's calmed down.
I'm happy to hear you guys are getting is having it calmed down, especially
Yeah.
since the big I'm gonna show you guys something that happened last night.
Okay.
This was last night slash this morning. This is actually current. Uh
Mm-hmm.
I put this up. I just took this screenshot. It's
Oh my.
so you can see that
Yeah.
big break in the middle, and whenever we get angel wings like that, it's a pretty big, statement. Though the timeline jump or the block here in the middle, that the line in the middle, that
Mm-hmm.
happened at 10 p.m. Central Time. Um, there's a lot of really high frequency energy coming through, and a lot of the most of us, I would say, feel this at least on some level. Hey, what happened? There it goes.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
it takes a minute on my side to see it dissolve on the screen. Anyway, and like whenever we're getting a big Schumann spike like that, there's a lot of activity going on. We typically will feel it in our body, and often it will cause or we'll notice that it's related to feeling exhausted. And even like you said, Yolanda, where it's it feels tight in the body. And so you're kind of like walking like you got like a stick up your
Yeah.
butt or something like that.
Shoulders. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. right? And along with that, we're getting all kinds of other solar activity happening. I'm sure you guys have been paying attention the past like 2 weeks. The sun has just been popping off like popcorn. X class flares, massive size M class, high end C class flares. And we're not done because guess what? I'm going to say this and then I'll let you guys talk. Guess what? So they just discovered another comet yesterday.
Oh,
And
okay.
they are like, oh, okay, this comet is actually called a sun grazer. The comet's name is A1 or C2026 dash or whatever / A1. If you want to look it up, it's kind of interesting. But yesterday announced that yesterday they announced that it was expected to make bullseye center stage impact in the sun in 53 days.
Oh my
And
gosh.
53 days from yesterday is the 4/4 portal. So that's
Wow.
interesting.
8/8.
Yeah. And what
Yeah.
happens when we get something like that is solar flares. All right. Nothing, it's not like, this isn't one of those Hollywood movies. We're not talking about the sun's going to explode or something crazy, but
Mhm.
it's going to be a blip on the sun that's going to cause some type of reaction. And this is right after all of we're having a whole month of parade of planets next month. We're having, the alignment. We're having all this crazy stuff. It's like upping and upping and upping the ante. It's like spirit showing
And
itself up.
the eclipse is on the way too, and we're about to have a solar eclipse to start it off, basically.
Yep.
And I just want to mention again, you said 53 days incoming and 53 days on the opposite end. That's 8/8, and then 53 days shy of the 4/4 portal, or excuse me, in between the 4/4 portal and what was going on. But anyway, I just saw 8/8/8, and I want to point that out again because collectively we are in a building stage. I can't remember, after the messages are channeled, and many of you can relate to this, you don't remember exactly the details unless I was to go and reread it a few more times and remember all the details. But the feminine is in deep creativity right now. The feminine in all of us, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't news for most of you, but there is indeed a huge uptick in this. We had a near Carrington event.
Yeah.
So if you realize, like, nearly a huge, and we could still, well, I don't want to call that in, but this does have to do have a lot to do with what people, whatever you believe the 3 days of darkness is. People have different ideas of what that's going to be, but this, near miss of a Carrington event, if it would have manifested into that, it would have manifested physically a form of the 3 days of darkness, quote, end quote, right? And so we keep bringing this about in these cycles. It's like a pulse. It's like labor pains, if you will, just circling, pulse, pulse, pulse. It keeps getting wider and wider and wider collectively. Once again, the Arcturians always want to point out, this is us. So there's nothing to fear. We are in the background, if you will, creating all of this.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say. But that 8/8/8 is that's not a coincidence.
Right.
Eight is building. Think 4 legs of a table, stability, and now multiply that exponentially. Okay,
Right.
so the value does mean something there.
Perfect human. Guardian, do you have anything? I don't want to. I've noticed I exclude you accidentally sometimes, and so I want to just give you a chance to talk as soon as it's like.
No, I don't have anything to add on this topic right now. So, but thank you for asking.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to go into the Jupiter thing, I search for the images.
Sure.
Do you have later on?
How do I get the? How do I make it?
While you guys figure that out, can I point out that Hania says here she's got similar energy cycles, crashing and weird dreams, waking up exhausted, and there's that cycle again, the pulsing. I just wanted to point that out. Well, I know, keep going. It popped up on the screen there.
Oh, sorry. You said okay, it's on the screen now. I was looking for
Oh,
because you said her name and I didn't
oh,
know.
so yeah,
So I was looking for
solilation.
the name.
Sorry.
I'm like, where is
Oh
that?
no. Yeah, I know her.
Excuse me.
I know her by Hania. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Solilation.
I love that. Yeah, and I'm having some really crazy dreams too. Some super uh uh pr- I had a glitch in the sky before the show, by the way. I forgot to tell you guys. Crazy. I was outside and well, that's what I do before I do stuff. Is I like to get out of the box. I'm usually barefoot if I can be. And anyway, I saw a bird, so I went to look at the bird. And when I looked up to see the bird, there was a whole bunch of birds, and they looked like large birds, perhaps hawks even. But there were so many of them, and they were making a specific shape. And as soon as I looked at them, they disappeared.
Oh wow.
Like I'm not saying I'm that like, and then as soon as I looked back away from them, I could see them again. Just like what happens with spirit sometimes. When the high
Hmm.
frequency being is so present, you have to
Yeah.
look like that's why you divert your eyes or bow. It's got nothing to do with humbling yourself. It's making it so you
Hmm.
use your third eye and your crown to see them. I saw
Hmm.
birds do that. We're seeing birds that are higher frequency that's
Pop in.
happening right now.
Wow. One more thing, Guardian, hang on one second, just one more thing. Joy to Share 888 ironically says, feels like a bunch of karmic debris being discharged and played out in astral. And I do want to point out that is also, just to affirm that, at least from this perspective, my own experience, perspective, and messages, that is exponentially happening right now. It's magnified the extent to which there are karmic clearings individually, and then we can see playing out this huge karmic clearing happening on the planet. Okay, karmic meaning just for those who use the word different ways, it can have a negative connotation, but this just means the lesson has been learned. It is now misaligned. It is distorted enough to disrupt what we are trying to create from higher perspective, and therefore it needs to be released. And that is what Joy to Share 888 is referring to. At least that's what I'm getting. So hopefully you can confirm, Joy,
I
whether or
know
not that
his secret name is Joshua.
is that
His name
wait, that's not
is
Joshua,
Joshua.
is it?
Yeah, it is.
Is that Joshua? Oh, yay, Joshua. I didn't know that was the screen name. They have the names different from the person's names. I never know. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So Joshua, yeah, let us know if that makes sense. What came through makes sense to you. But boy, that popped out at me.
100%. He said 100% Yolanda.
Ah, all right. Okay.
Awesome. That's cool. Thank you for sharing that. There's a lot going on. Yeah, like and we're all going to be feeling it differently. What Guardian was saying actually has a lot to do with what we're talking about too. When celestial bodies interact differently with us or line up differently around us, we have a response. We have a whole month of conjunctions and alignments and all these different. The 20th is a huge deal, specifically with Saturn and Neptune. But there's a lot going
Okay.
on, and if we understand what the planets are telling us or what they're doing, then you're able to utilize the energy being sent into us. So, Guardian, you were talking about Jupiter, and I was wondering, did you send that stuff to my Telegram so I can put it up, or is there a way I can make it so you can share?
Well, I can share my screen if you want to, but not sure if I'm allowed to do it though.
I think I've given you permission.
Okay, I think you have to. Yeah, you share another application window. Stop sharing. Oh, there you go. So yeah, we were talking. This is a bit early. So this is. I'm not sure which space probe will sent out quite a bit in the past few decades, but finally we have some interesting images from our neighboring planets from a different perspective. Like we know them from Earth's perspective, and like this is one of the poles of Jupiter. So there are these spirals within spirals, storms at the pole of Jupiter, basically. And
Wow.
these are storms, very massive storms. It seems very small in this image, but these are all like these whirlpools of massive storms happening at the poles of Jupiter, basically.
Oh my gosh.
This is a huge
And
deal.
so just to, oh, sorry, go ahead, Pamela.
Just note, look at this. Do you see this? This is the symbols. There, you see this in every cave painting talking about Kachina. You see it in
Oh, wow.
all it's the symbols. The way that it's done. This is what they're drawing on the caves. How could they know what that planet looks like in such a, this is on
Yeah,
the
but this is
cave.
the
Indeed.
This
pattern
is
that you can
Jupiter,
find
right?
in many things in nature. So it's not just in Jupiter. These patterns are like recreated in many different parts in nature. Here on Earth too. So this is just on a much larger scale.
There's 8 of them.
And so just to be clear, Guardian, so these storms that are happening at the poles are not something that has been like, this is like a new event happening or a more recent?
No, like it's new for us because we have never seen it before. Like we only took images from the perspective of Earth, but this is like a part of it which we cannot see from Earth, basically.
Okay.
So we finally sent something that can like go around the planet itself and like take photos from a different perspective.
Right.
It's amazing.
And it does look like a microscopic photo, but it's actually a macro.
Yeah.
So basically, this is super massive. I'm not sure how big Earth is. I guess like this little bleep here.
Right.
Probably.
So we are super small compared to Jupiter.
And Jupiter has been the hot topic conversation point lately, because Jupiter has been where all of these different comet, quote unquote, and celestial bodies are like interacting with, on its way to interact with us, and they're on their way out. Like 3i Atlas is now, they're going to cross paths, those 2 comets. 3i Atlas is actually, I believe, at Jupiter now, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And it first was seen at Jupiter on July 2nd last year.
Okay.
It
And
always
remember,
stops at Jupiter.
Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So everything that including us, when we interact in our chart with Jupiter, whatever it's around is set to expand in some way, magnify in some way, for better or worse.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's Zeus. If you look at the different, places, we have Rome is the one that called it Jupiter Amun, Amun, like Amun Ra or Amen. In Egypt, Zeus from the Greek people, and Anu, Anu in Mesopotamian. And there's a whole bunch of topics about the Anu, and this is generally accepted as like the god of all gods, this particular planet. When you look at the different these earlier accounts of them, the god of gods, god of weather, god of the sky. And isn't that super fascinating? Because Jupiter's actually going to have so many different conjunctions this month. Like it's having conversations with like the moon and with all the different, like it's really fascinating how many different times that what does Jupiter do? It's like the father. So like then the rest of the planets are considered the children, right? Isn't that how that works?
Yeah.
Super fascinating. There's a lot of code there.
Yeah, like we are also Saturn is like entering Aries. So also you mentioned that Saturn is becoming like a big player in the next 2.5 years or so.
Yeah, that's right.
Like it's highlighting quite a bit of stuff. And I have my mouse on it. Like this is speaking of Saturn, like this is also some new photos from the other side of Saturn. So the planet has these like hexagonal storms at the pole, which we haven't seen before because we see it from Earth's perspective. Like this is, I think this is the North Pole, and like this is the North Pole, and the other one was the South. Like on both poles, you have these like hexagonal geometric storms, which is again very interesting. Why does it take that shape?
Right. It reminds me a lot of Thoth, the Emerald Tablets, actually, how he talked about the straight lines and the moving on a straight line or a 90-degree angle versus the curved. Remember that part of the Emerald Tablets?
Yeah.
Do you remember a little bit, like, could you, I don't remember it as well as you might, Guardian. Do you remember what he's talking about when he's saying that?
Well, it's referring to the dwellers and angles that are like some types of guardians that are like there to like push you back to a more limited version of consciousness. But other than that, that's the info about it. So I haven't encountered the dweller and angles, although you did, I think, a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You had some weird interactions. I think you also had some kind of weird symptoms in your body too regarding these angular thingies that you said. Then I mentioned this little quote from the book, and you were like, "Holy crap!" Like,
Yeah.
it's something like that happening right now.
Yeah. And that's not gone away. Like, what I mean by not gone away is I've not forgotten about that. That left a lasting impression or experience on me. And the fact that you brought Saturn up, because the 20th is what most of the astrologers are talking about and have for a few months, is the 20th is the day of where dreams meet reality, because Saturn and Neptune are having a conjunction 0 degree in Aries, which is really uncommon, and talking about dreams. We're back to, remember we were talking about dreams. Most people in the comments are still talking about wild dreams, like we're having, and what this is, what is Saturn is
Structure.
Saturn's like structure and, sorry, go ahead.
Nope, I said the same thing, structure. Keep
right.
going.
Time, Chronos, the chronosphere. Every one of the depictions of the things you ever see about time and time travel, it's always a chronosphere. It's also like what's closely related to what we know as reality or discipline. And then you have Neptune, that's like dreamy and like spiritually, like available, and the flow and the disillusionment and their disillusion and all this kind of stuff. And when they get together, they create some type of masterful thing. These two straight lines and curved lines joining as in a harmony, like oil and water being okay with uniting in a way that they've not done, but like in our experience. It feels like
Can I say something before you finish, Pamela?
Go ahead.
Can I say something right before you finish? Before it disappears, I wanted to point out that Kay, when Guardian had the images up, she was saying natural cloud shapes and water formations reflect the ones here on the planet she's talking about. Our natural cloud shapes and water formations reflect patterns on other planets. And so it's literally, we're reflecting, so we're able to see without seeing what Guardian was showing us. And I was seeing that the whole, like when we were talking about those, we were looking at the images. And then with you bringing up Saturn and Neptune, we are bringing what we've been able to detect into structure, like form, physical, tangible form. Saturn is about making something solid, and its rules, its rigid rules coming into reality. We're forming what our new set of standards and rules are going to be. Okay, whether it's got to do with morals, society, ethics, the way that we're going to govern ourselves, what we're going to teach ourselves, what's important on the planet, all of those things are going to basically, like you said, come down to earth, out of the heavens. And so this conversation is like, I'm very lit up listening to how this is going from the image, with the circular formations, and how Kay was pointing out, we were able to detect that, and it's literally reflected in our structure. And so now we're going to bring our own dreams into structure. But so what's happening now is the collective is deciding, what the hell is our dream? What are our dreams? What do we want? This is what's happening right now, what we're seeing. Okay, go ahead. So sorry.
This is a conversation. That's cool. You're supposed to do
That also helped me reflect on what I'm going through as well. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You tell,
Ooh.
Guardian, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, yeah,
If you
like I'm
would.
also going through a great shift in like how do I perceive myself as an artist? Like so far for almost 20 years, like I've been working in the game development industry, and like gradually it started to resonate with me less and less.
Mm-hmm.
And now at the end of last year, like this big shift came in, and I started to like work traditionally again, like doing traditional art. And this
Yeah.
like felt like this huge shift happening, like something was unleashed from inside of me. And now I'm working towards like going back to the roots and like using all the knowledge and experience that I have to create traditional art and like make a living from that instead of joining these rigid structures where I need to basically devote my life force energy and creativity to the vision of someone completely else. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
stuff that I don't even align with. So that's started to become very draining after a time. That's like putting your energy and creativity into something that doesn't even resonate with you. Like it makes you tired on a very strange level that you like cannot sleep out or like you can't rest from that. And doing what I do now is very refreshing and very energizing, even though I work my ass off almost every day, but it's very rewarding. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, it's
And that's
very
that.
exciting and scary at the same time because I haven't done this before. So I'm in like uncharted waters. But yeah, like it's very cool to like see what you also said that like this coming period is like very good for like materializing and like bringing in new structures and like making them happen. Like I feel that too. Like a lot of transformation has been happening inside of me as well, and I start to gradually see how things will take shape. It's still very scary sometimes, but I try to like bring myself back to center. Like, okay, like God has a plan, and like we're doing it, even though like we can see like what's after the next corner, or like when the road turns left or right, you don't know what's going to be there. But
Yeah.
it's very interesting to say the least.
It's learning to know that when you step your foot forward, the universe is going to catch you.
Yeah, like I always like reassure myself that there were like many of these moments in my life that like I wanted something really bad and like life kicked you in the butt and like nope, like you're not getting that, or like you're not going to do that, and like it felt very bad in the moment, but like later on I saw the wisdom that hey, like that was really not a good thing that I should have done back then, or things led to a much better thing later on. And like
Mm-hmm.
the thing that I would have wanted at that moment would have been like a much lesser version of what I have right now, or something like that.
Right. Yeah. And Guardian, you're talking everybody, everyone's talk words. That's what my daughter says. You're talking my talk words. It's kind of a joke, but and you're seeing Kay talk about it here, but a lot of us are also feeling all of a sudden a whole like transition, change, complete transformation of the way your life normally is happening for all of us, just like
Yes.
Yolanda first started said,
Yeah, like
right?
just like Yolanda said, like you're like re-evaluating like your relationship to stuff, like and also seen like a very interesting like astrological thingy. Just watched it recently, and like one of the main things for this Saturn enters Aries period is that like our old relationships and stuff, like they are going to be reevaluated, and like we need to like make a change because like even if we're in something that we're not preferring, we're in it because it's comfortable, we know it, we know how it works. It's
Mhm.
not in alignment with us, so but still it's comfortable because we know it. But now it's a great time to like move out of that and like reevaluate like what is important and like how you want to move forward.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I'm doing that in a very proactive way too. So, and I bet also a lot of other people too, because
Excuse me.
sometimes
Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you. I'm glad I have mute. That was a loud one. Hey, I was hoping to take this moment this is such a great topic. Like, I know both of you are constantly in your channeling state, at least slightly, you're getting some kind of input.
I'm
And I could
50.
see Yolanda doing this when she gets like this. That means that's her version of when I go like this. Like I'm trying not to talk, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I can tell you got them coming in. If you want to, I'm going to give you, go ahead, please, and thank you.
Well, which one? Either me or first or guardian?
Yeah, I talked for quite some time, so please, Yolanda.
Oh, well, I just want to say what you were talking about as you were talking, and it's coming in while you're talking. So many people are going to benefit from what you're saying. It's going to be a huge confirmation for a lot of people to see and hear you say that. Because, we get to certain stages and sometimes people think, I'm supposed to be past this. I'm supposed to understand how to do this. I'm already supposed to be there. And we forget that we're moving. And we say this every time we get together. I know this gets brought up, but it's getting brought up again. We're constantly moving and expanding. So when you get to a certain point, you're only going to sit there for required time as it deems your own soul. Your own soul, not just you like to use the word integration, and it is necessary at this time, but it's really more like a migration. These are the Arturians. It's more like a soul migration that's happening because you see, you have more than one essence to what you think of as a soul. There are many different parts of you, and many of you are discovering this now through the process of uncovering your multidimensional perspectives, your multidimensional nature. And so through this nature of self, you're going to continue to expand. Also, what was coming in, what wants to be said, and they still want to come through, but the nature of your relationships is an important topic as well. We want to tread lightly here, as many of you are either in a very fertile time or you're in a resting time. And the resting time is necessary as you build toward what you're going to explore in the future, be part of in the future, is what they mean. Use the term explore as you will, okay? But many of you are going to progress forward into something new. Others of you are going to evolve and develop with different sorts of relationships, work dynamics, romantic partners, and unions of this sort. Soul unions in many different forms are coming in for each of you. You would literally have to reject what wants to come in. This is how much you're going to have love flooding in toward you in many different forms. It is important that you take into yourself the forms of love that are coming in that are aligned, because they will benefit your planet directly, in a direct manner. It will flood your field and your immediate environment quite naturally, quite forcefully. Okay, so those are the Arturians. And so I was sort of asking them in a relay, and that's what I'm going to call it, like a kind of a little relay, to tread lightly where it comes to these relationships and different types of relationships, because there's so much going on. And many of you may be picking this up as well, because there are so many channels here and empaths, that there are very raw and vulnerable things happening at the time. And some things that people think are going to come apart may actually come back together in a different way, very, very well. And other things will naturally come apart, but it won't be in such a wounding way as what may be imagined. There's an interesting thing, I think Rose Matter, in a different message, so I'm glad that she popped up again here. She brought up the eclipses. And so eclipses are thought to be, yep, there you go. Eclipses are thought to be when something has to leave your life. Most people think of what's leaving, right? What's going to dissolve. But with this eclipse coming in, because we are dreaming so big, and from a collective standpoint, dreaming so big, and they are showing me a few different things, guys, so bear with me. But because we are dreaming so big, what's coming into solid reality is actually birthing something during these eclipses. So it is going to act a different way, act on our lives a different way, and act upon the planet in a different way. So I hope that helps a little bit.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you brought it up too. I'm sorry, Guardian. I think you were getting ready to talk. Go ahead.
No, I would just have to listen to the first part again because I was so distracted by your camera going all over the place.
You didn't
was
know
it going
it.
crazy?
When you were like channeling and your camera was like
Oh no.
going
was
like
good.
this.
To me, that was like, wow, you could see that they were noticing there was somebody else on the screen. The camera noted, because like it was every time that you would go deeper, like you'd kind of come back and you could tell it's Yolanda kind of translating for a second, and then you'd go
Yeah.
back into channeling, and that was when it would zoom and change its zoom every time. Yeah, that was proof for me right there, you know.
This
Thank you
camera,
very
like,
much for your transmission. What was that?
I was just saying this camera is definitely interfacing then with what's going on in the non-physical, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
There's that
Definitely.
weird,
It's
oh. I hope no one else was like, oh, too distracted by that. But rewind and listen again. When this is over, just go back and listen again and ask that it just sort of integrate, not sort of, but integrate into your field where it makes sense to you.
yeah. I'm gonna definitely go back and listen to that again too. And Joshua says, "Me, I thought Mila was doing that, and he thought I can't zoom anybody. I don't have that ability from my end. I can change their volume or kick them out of the meeting. That's about it." Same with
Please don't
Rosemary.
get out today.
Yeah. You know, something else about this eclipse. And okay, we're in the middle already of a corridor from the 30th to the 27th. The 30th of last month to the 27th now. These are the bookends. And it's interesting because that's what Spirit told me. But then I looked at astrologically, there is something similar about those 2 days. Is there's a conjunction of Moon and Jupiter on both of those days, on the 30th of January and the 27th of this month, February. The day after is the 6th planet alignment, and beginning basically a whole month, the following month, of this parade of planets. It's just going to be going on all month. So that's one corridor we're already in, right? Then on the 17th, this is what's super fascinating too, okay? There's 2 different calendars, just like the Gregorian calendar, whatever. They've changed the calendar over the years. The earliest calendar that the Chinese calendar, like Chinese New Year, was observed, the way they counted it previously would have been on the 3-3 portal. During the 3-3 portal is when we're having our lunar eclipse, right? And because they changed it, now it's on the new moon instead of the full moon. And so that's during the solar eclipse. So this year, the Chinese New Year lands on the Ring of Fire, the annular eclipse that you can see. It's a South Pole eclipse, so a lot of us aren't going to see it, but we're going to feel it, the Ring of Fire. You know, it feels very J.R.R. Tolkien, doesn't it? You know, the Ring of Fire, and it has a lot of that kind of code in it. So that's another corridor, right? But then there's another corridor inside that corridor. You know, like, point being here is we're going to be experiencing a lot of stuff over the coming weeks. And most of it's going to be good from how I'm interpreting and feeling it. Though it's all of this, just what y'all have already been talking about. Yeah, fireworks. Is that it's about accepting, opening, and being okay with change, with changing who you thought you were by letting yourself not have those labels at all, perhaps. You know, there's a lot of things that this, you know, remastering of who you are in this world, you know, and it doesn't have to be a limiting belief like we typically will carry. Like Guardian's example. By the way, Guardian, is there are you prepared to like introduce this as something people want to connect with you yet, or this will be down the road?
That's down the road.
Okay, I just wanted to check. I didn't want to like bypass
Okay.
that opportunity.
Yeah, like also regarding alignments, we on 26 we're going into Mercury retrograde. You have any useful information for the upcoming period for like March or so?
Well, I can say the one last thing before I know Yolanda has something to add, is that there's actually that retrograde day is initiated on the same moment that we're conjuncting Venus and Mercury at the same time. When Mercury and Venus are in conjunction, Mercury is also going retrograde at that moment. Retrograde. I missed the R. Yeah, dude. Go ahead.
So
Yolanda.
that's going to affect right away materialism. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Venus is yes, love, yes, beauty in the material once again, though. So it can affect what you're able to produce through your love, through your heart. So think heart frequency, not necessarily romantic love, but sumptuous things. Whenever I hear Venus, I think of the sun sign, Taurus. And so sumptuous, luxurious, and it's not even just the things, it's the ability to appreciate those things, okay? If you've ever had lunch with the Taurus, or just, been in the house of a Taurus, sun especially, just for a lot in the chart.
Guardian.
No, are you a Taurus? See? Sumptuous, enjoying things, just able to make you feel comfortable, but they feel so comfortable, you almost just feel comfortable with them, or you do probably via their frequency. Anyway, so Venus with Mercury, you're able to communicate this, but Mercury retrograde makes you revisit communication. It makes you go back over what maybe didn't quite pan out the first time, and you have to delve into it, and it can be quite uncomfortable. But this isn't what I'm getting. I'm getting more like what you've been getting, what you were talking about, Pamela. So it's almost as though where there has been an inversion, it's getting tipped right side up. Because this isn't going to be an uncomfortable thing. This is going to be beautiful. It's going to be just furthering the creativity through those of us, or all of those. So, hey, us and them, there's too much of that. So I'm just going to say everyone who can remember to come through their heart frequency, even by nature of being in proximity to us. So just by us remembering to create through the heart during this eclipse, stay in the heart during this Mercury retrograde. There's one more thing I wanted to point out that had to do with Jupiter. Again, I hadn't planned on even evaluating Jupiter at all. No messages came in about Jupiter. And the minute you guys started talking about Jupiter, all of this stuff just came flooding in. So Jupiter wants to act like a magnet. And so we talked about earlier how it magnifies everything, and expands it, and makes the thing, or creates an expansion within the event or the thing or the structure, whatever it is. And so you've got the comets interacting with Jupiter. I don't know why this is playing into this Mercury retrograde conversation, you guys. So you'll probably come back to this at some point, but there's some sort of expansion that does want to happen because Jupiter is interacting with so many different in different major ways. So not just, for instance, someone's chart or that, but so many stellar alignments are super important around Jupiter. The Arturians specifically said earlier, allow Jupiter to magnetize. They have to come through again. Jupiter is going to magnetize some of these misalignments into itself for transformation. That's a strange way to put that. But it's like it's so magnetic, it's going to take in some of these misalignments from a planetary perspective. And it's like being transmuted through Jupiter somehow. And this is what I saw when that image was up there and the swirling, but I couldn't make sense of what I was like seeing and hearing. All of you are brilliant. So do with that what you will. That's what I got.
Yeah, that's awesome. So there's so much. Did you know what? Did you know who Mercury is? That's Thoth, Hermes. That's Inky. That's what our earlier conversation was.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And to answer the question that's on the screen, in 52 days, C 2026 A1 is expected to graze the sun, as they're calling the sun grazer. But
Okay.
it's gonna, it's like a drop in a bucket compared to the size of the sun. It's not something that we're not gonna blow up the sun or anything. It's just something that we're gonna be getting. It's gonna be some big energy. And so who is Thoth? Who is the story of who that person energy is? That's the bringer of knowledge, mathematics. That's the Hermetic principles. That's
Mm-hmm.
the
Hermes
guardian.
Trismegistus, right? Am I saying that right? Trismegistus. I'm going to pronounce things wrong constantly.
Oh.
So please.
I think it's in Latin, like Trismegistus or something.
Trismegistus. Okay.
Guardian
Or in super Latin, Trismegistus. But that doesn't sound very cool in English. So
Not
That's
too much
actually-
sounds as cool in English as other languages, but I love English. Nobody get mad. I'm just saying.
get Guardian to speak Hungarian sometime. That's really fun to hear.
Please do.
okay.
Well, how do you
if
say
enjoy-
higher vibrations? Sorry, what was that?
Well, there isn't like an exact translation for it, but like maybe like high vibrational level, like felső brezgés szint. Maybe like there isn't like an
Very
exact
cool.
translation for it. So
That's so pretty.
Oh, that's gorgeous. This is making me giggle. Keep going. This is good.
okay, what do you
More
want to say next?
Hungarian.
Yeah, go ahead, Guardian, if you want.
Yeah, but what do you want? Yeah, now Yolanda, you like what would you like to know in Hungarian?
Well, this is probably a silly question. This isn't going to make sense, but are there different names for the planets? Like I see Rose up here. She's like, thank you, Jupiter. And I agree. And that's just, having me want to ask, are there different ways that the planets are referred to in Hungarian? Or is it just...
No, like I think they all come from Latin. Like it's very similar. Like Jupiter is like Jupiter. Like it's the same thing. Like Mercury, Mercur. So it's very. I think they come from the same source.
Yeah, Latin. It's funny. I was telling my kids the other day, or one of them anyway, trying to convince him to take Latin. I took Latin in high school. Nobody wanted to take it. It's the dead language. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Okay. And so for those of you who are here who are not Americans, we get to pick and choose, and we only had to take 1 or 2 languages. And I feel like we should have to take a lot of different languages, or maybe not have to, but be encouraged to learn different languages is a better way to put it. I shouldn't say have to. But anyway, but this is why I'm telling him it is definitely the root of at least these classical languages, and Western languages. But yeah, it's good to know. I don't know why I brought that. It's just interesting. We were just having that conversation. But he's taking Chinese for now. We've started somewhere really good because I don't know Chinese. He's going to teach me. I'm very excited about it.
Very cool.
And if you know Latin, you know half of the spell casting. Honestly, like let's get into it. Why not? Like what is all of the medical and all that stuff? It's all Latin based. And they educated consent, or I can't remember the correct term, but they assume that they're going to be able to just tell you a bunch of words and you're going to go, oh my gosh, I have to do this thing, or some bad result's going to happen. And it's also all over the place in legalese as well. The word spelling that's a spell casting. It's creating a resonance or a frequency regarding what that person intends. And typically regarding the use of Latin in these places, or legalese in like the banking system and the schooling system and stuff, it's about low frequency resonance and fear, and
Yes.
not knowing what exactly you're signing up for. This is my biggest download that I've been getting consistently. That's why I'm just passionately going forward on this, is that they asked me, how many times do you click submit in a day? Spirit asked me that. And I was like, most of my messaging systems require I over and over again, submit, submit, submit. What
Or
does
the
that
other
mean?
stuff that is like super annoying, like whenever you go on a site and you have this like cookie notification, and it's not like accept cookies, it's like submit, or no, what was consent? Like I give my consent, like
Yeah.
cookies denied. Like
Yeah, I do not want one of your cookies.
any of your cookies, yeah.
I'll tell you what you can do with your cookies.
Yeah,
Right.
you can shift delete them somewhere. So
Right. And it's, it's just like the Oracle and the Matrix. She gave Neo a cookie before he left. Did you guys notice that?
Listen.
Right?
Mhm.
There's code there. They're showing us what's happening. And so when we pull away and let ourselves see what we're doing, now Spirit says, okay, start removing your consent now. There's all these like little operating programs that are going on. Some people call them cords. There are cords too, but then there is this other cord-like energy that has to do with these different agreements that we've made. I remember back in like 2010 or something like that, they had realized that if you read all of the stuff that you agreed to in Apple devices, if you read all of it, it would take weeks just to read one of them. And how many times have we had to update those different devices and programs? Did you know that if you have ever had Disney Plus and have some horrific thing happen to you regarding Disneyland or Disney World, you can't sue them? Because part of your consent in having that streaming service of Disney Plus is that you'll never be able to sue them for anything, for any reason. All these different kinds of things. And back in 2010, my favorite part, that one, was there was something that people were consenting to that someone had added in there that you were selling your soul. They thought it was a joke. It really literally said it inside the like 18th page of the 95-page document. Point being, we can do something about this. We can change that. And that's what Spirit wants us to tell everybody to remember, to try to, or to take time to apply the energy to that. And that is, I'm removing my consent. Say all the words that you want to do. Use your own voice. Make sure there's a voice there. Because if we just say it in our minds, it's not what they're talking about. Declare, I'm removing my consent from banking systems, from social media, from other media forms, from medical systems, from schooling systems, all the indoctrination as they come up throughout your days. And slowly over time, you find yourself to be more easy to connect back into the sovereign spirit light that you are. And that's what we're supposed to do this summer. That's what this is about, right? Tangent done. I'm off my soapbox. You guys can talk now.
That was a great soapbox. I enjoyed that tangent. I'm sure Guardian did too.
yeah, agreed.
I want to add in there. Oh, yeah.
No, not necessarily. But yeah, like it's very true that like people are like being conditioned to like submit and like accept whatever is thrown at them. There are all these like little very subtle, like seemingly innocent things that are like conditioning you like over and over and over and over and over again, that like you don't even notice, but yeah, like some of us do. Like, we remove our consent from these. And yeah, like also what Pamela said, like regarding contracts, like check out like spiritual contract removal. Like you can create your own, or find some amazing templates that are out there in the internet. And yeah, like remove your consent from things that you don't even are aware that you have given your consent to, like for energy harvesting and manipulation and so forth. And like most of us were just like born into, like we were not even aware that we are giving our energy to specific things that normal, if you were if you would know where it's going, you would say like, no way. But it's just like done like involuntarily, or just like naturally going through life and like accepting the systems that we're born into, basically. So
Yeah.
check out spiritual contract removal.
Agreed. 100%. And I just want to point out as well, just to be clear, and I'm fully realizing most people here may already know this, but just in case you're afraid of not being able to shift something physically in your life. So what Pamela and Guardian are talking about, and what I agree with, is that you can verbally, giving it voice gives it power, because your consciousness will agree to it basically more quickly. So if you have the voice in your head very strong, if it's as strong as your vocal voice, it's the same thing. But for now, voice it. But you do not, it doesn't really matter what is happening in the physical. So if you're forced, if you feel like you have no other choice but to participate in something, this is a tricky thing to say right now, okay? But this is where we're headed on our way to what people are envisioning as a new earth, okay? So this is happening in stages. So collectively, especially if you can maintain a high heart frequency most of the time, so you're floating somewhere where you're able to see from a broad perspective and stay in the heart, you're able to defy any physical agreement, because you're operating primarily from your extra dimensions. Okay, your extra dimensional selves, your multi-dimensional selves, okay? And you're operating most of the time in other dimensions anyway, but what you're conscious of to link into this type of a conversation is the physical dimension. So you're not remembering, what you're doing all of the time. That's the point. The physical part of it is about 1%. So even if you feel like you're beholden to something, or you need to be beholden to something in this physical experience for your children, or your parents, or to be able to eat something, or whatever it is, whatever you need to do to sustain, you can make this agreement that you are not spiritually beholden to whatever system that's trying to tie you into, which will have you under all of these sort of false agreements to continually run back to that system. And I wonder if I'm also getting that everybody, okay, I'm getting to say this too, and I hope it's not over explaining, okay? But I'm just getting, okay, somebody says good to know. Good, because I don't want to be over explaining, but I'm getting to say some things. So I don't want to lose it. So what we mean by being beholden to something and unconsciously being pulled back in, that's something to talk about real quick. And Pamela, I hope I'm not going too long. Just for a minute. Okay.
I'm good.
Okay. Okay. So what's happening there is, from a subconscious level, remember, you're operating in all these different dimensions all the time. You're in and out of yourself all of the time, okay? And you're operating outside of yourself simultaneously while you're in the physical. That's what we mean by outside of self, okay? The physical self. So because that's happening, remember, these other systems and programs are doing the same. So they're tying into parts of you, the parts of you that are still beholden to the control, that believe somehow that they need to report to someone for a resource. It is more locked into the physical idea that someone needs to approve a resource, including emotional resources, you guys, including just to be loved, to feel safe in your skin. This is, in fact, it's not even that this is huge. This is the biggest thing. This sort of a fear that we're not safe, and that we will somehow, or our children, right, or whoever, our loved ones, will be left by the wayside and unable to advance. This is an existential threat, a threat to the future of humanity, in fact. Okay? So this is what these systems play on, because the threat is not real. We think it's real because we're living in what feels like a real physical reality, right? Mm-hmm. This feels solid to us. Well, we're learning slowly that this isn't solid at all. Okay, last thing we're going to tie into that. as we morph is the word the Arcturians are using, you guys. Okay. As we morph, as we evolve, I want to say, into this light body version of ourselves, which will feel still very physical, but it will operate at a much higher frequency, meaning we'll be able to move between and experience these dimensions in a different way and interact with our universe, which is us, everything, in a much more quick, efficient way. And these systems won't be able to mitigate that. This is what that's the attempted cutoff. They're attempting to cut us off from that. So remember that when you are cutting off your consent, you're doing it from all of these dimensions. You're circumventing all of their ability to cut through, somewhere that you don't know exists, right? They assume you don't know that exists. So you've got to remember, I'm in charge of all of this. Only 1% of this is what I'm feeling, probably more now, but I'm feeling a very small percentage of this. They don't actually have control over these resources like I think they do. It's trippy. It's a trippy thing, you guys, because this means you can still navigate any system you freaking want to.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. You don't have to live in like an extreme lack. And it's not to say that we haven't done that in the past for a reason. We did have to do that. We had to drop a lot of the baggage. We did have to go through that. I certainly did. My human wouldn't have understood it if I didn't have to drop so many things first and then gain my own internal power from the inside out. Okay. So for many of you that have been through so much crap, and don't think, oh my God, I went through that for no reason. No, you went through that for a reason. This is what's coming to mind, in fact, is the crucifixion. It's Jesus's life here on earth when he sacrificed so much, and the way it's written quite literally in the Christian Bible, for instance, okay? Or let's say, is it St. James? The way it's been translated is, he's saying that he sacrificed all of this so others wouldn't have to, right? This is what's coming up here. I'm not trying to invoke religion here necessarily, okay? But I'm using this as an example. And hopefully this isn't offensive to many of you. If it is a trigger, that all triggers are good, so go within. But what you've done by dropping so many things, and many of you have dropped so many things, and it's time for you to pick them up again. So hence Jupiter, hence Neptune and Saturn interacting, hence the Mercury retrograde and Pamela's pointing to the summer. This cycle, these labor pains that the planet is going through on a quantum scale are for a reason. You will be able to pick these things back up again and live in abundance, whatever that means for you. It doesn't have to mean this fake, plastic sort of whatever we've thought abundance was in the past, but true emotional fulfillment. Okay. And the knowledge that you have a right to eat when and what you need to eat, be healthy. And you deserve that. So your sacrifice wasn't in vain. What you're emanating from your field as you travel through this experience is what the rest of the human collective is now reaching for and trying to figure out. So it hasn't been in vain.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm sure you didn't read any of the comments when you were so focused on your channeling, but there's a lot of people who resonated with what you've been saying. And so thank you so much for saying all of that. I'm sure Guardian wants to say something. Sorry, excuse me. Go ahead.
No, I don't really have anything to add to that, but thank you very much, Yolanda, and the Arturians.
That was beautiful. And you brought something up that I don't remember where it came up, but the threes came up when you were talking. I can't remember I think it was the Trinity. Yeah. Because it's the father, mother, and child. This is what they keep telling me about, like this whole distorted stuff. But then it came up with the threes, and guess what? The lunar eclipse that's happening on the 3/3 portal happens at 3:33 a.m. Pacific time.
No way. No way. This is, see, just
Yeah.
every time I think I'm not going to be shocked, it's like, it's almost like a joke at this time. You know, our guides, the universe, it doesn't matter which way you want to look at it. It's like if we think that if we have a moment of not being sure, we're going to get proof. This is,
Yeah.
there's so much proof
Yeah.
of what's
It's over
occurring.
the top. Like, I always feel like Spirit's been doing that lately since like 2020, 2021. Like, it's kind of a joke. I'm always I channel differently than you, but it's the same. We all channel. That's what's so cool.
Yeah,
And all of you channel too. Everybody in the audience, we
right.
all channel. It's really fascinating though, is that it's like they like kind of try to like beat their old record kind of thing, where it's just over the top. It's like a whole like $1 billion firework, thing for the baby's first birthday. That's what it feels like. You know what I mean? Like, it's so over the top. There's no
Yeah,
way to miss it, you know?
yeah.
And speaking of the 13th lunar cycles, you know what? We're coming up in just a couple of days. This Friday is Friday the 13th, the day before
That did not even occur to
Valentine's Day.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 13 is also I don't want to say the number of, but it can be considered the number of the divine feminine. Sorry, Guardian, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it just occurred to me.
No. Also, 13 is transformation.
Yes, that's right.
And it's the
That's
number
right.
that's been hidden in plain sight for so
Mhm.
long. I've stayed
On
in so
purpose.
many rooms that were number 13, but they called it 14. The
Mhm.
floor, when you're in the elevator, it goes from 12 to 14. Like, they've made us feel like there's something to be aware or weary of when the 13 comes up. Like, there's some
Well,
kind
that's
of
intentional. That's
Mhm.
intentional so secret societies could have that power to themselves. So we're running in fear and we avoid it like the plague, which we have been doing. Same with 666, which people think is the mark of the beast or have thought that could be a trigger for someone as well, and that's okay. And even in my body, Pamela and Guardian, I was raised, and if you guys don't know in the chat, I was definitely raised Christian. So for me to even say the number 666 back to back out loud,
Yeah,
part
right.
of me in my body, I still have to remember in my body that, oh yeah, okay, I understand now
Yeah.
that is a balance, a pattern, a number, and these were hidden for a reason. 6 is balance, relationships, beauty. The number 6 in itself, if you look at the number, it represents beauty and looks like a womb. Look at the number 6.
Yeah.
So it's not what we have thought. Now, that said, this isn't an excuse. Many groups, okay, is it necessary to bring it up? We'll just touch on it for a minute, but careful going into disproving when you go into disproving many things that we've been told, if you will, like the number 13, 666, all these things. Careful not to let it pull you into something that will be completely opposite what you want to create. Okay, so Luciferian is what I'm talking about. All right, it is a thing. We're not going to get all up into it here, but you can weight it. The pendulum can swing way far to the other end and then just sort of sit there as not you, but people can get magnetized a little bit too much into the darkness thinking, oh, now I'm balanced, but that's not actually balance.
Right.
Very, very careful about that. Knowledge is one thing, but how do you use the knowledge?
Right.
Very easy to forget to stay in the heart frequency in different, arenas. So I do want to point that out. I know what you guys think.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like lately, especially, the amount of people talk about symptoms connected to the heart center, like ascension symptoms and stuff like that. All this heart stuff. Most of the meditations, I do channeled meditation, so I don't know what we're gonna do before we start either. Is that it's been really focused around this heart stuff, and I've been having this electrical zap stuff going on in this area lately too. Like,
Okay.
it can feel like, oh, in the body for a second, because you're like, isn't that what I was told about when I was little? Kind of fear paradigm stuff. But a lot of this opening and expansion of the heart is really what is the main conversation right now in the ascension symptom world. So it's really interesting you brought that specific part up too.
Yeah, yeah. No,
And
me too. I've been getting a lot about electricity too, and getting it to come up, not necessarily through my messages, but getting other people's messages just pop up to me, if that makes
yeah,
sense, about
yeah.
the electrical nature of the planet and the body and all that.
Oh yeah. I want to say this last part because I know we're probably going to wrap up soon. It's getting kind of late in Romania, in Transylvania. I love that you're in Transylvania. Like,
Me too.
you know,
It's a very cozy place.
yeah, it's really cool. Is that you know, when it comes to these things, it's very fascinating to look at them because the numbers there's distortion added to things where, you know, you can tell that that's on purpose and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But check this out. It's 222 in my clock right now. Um, is that my earliest memory of it's not really super clear, but it's just like most of us have past life memories. It's just pieces and stuff. And one of those pieces is that the incomplete form, the human that's not balanced completely is assigned the number 6. And when the dormant DNA is waking up, the human form is called 7. And once fully awakened on a body level, where your physicality has your DNA is no longer in dormancy. Because remember, 95% of our DNA was junk DNA. That part of the DNA is right. That's coming out of dormancy. And as it does in completion, your body is called 8.
Beautiful.
That's just something that's something I've known for so long, and I don't really know if that will help anybody, but
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. Even the curves of the 8 is bringing back in the feminine too. And I see it in the 6 as well, because, you know, the feminine's been gone for so long, and not celebrated wisely or openly. And so, yeah, those are beautiful. And 8 is stability as well. And I wanted to bring up with Guardian brought up 13 being transformation, and 1 and 3 is 4. Solid stability. It is everything you need is right there, the 4. Okay.
Yeah.
You've got 4 corners to a room, 4 legs to a table. Think of that. Okay. 3 is the building, 4 is the steady stability. And then 8 is just building upon that. It's like exponentially abundant now, you know,
Right.
It's magnified, right?
Yeah, like the sign of Jupiter is almost like a 4 too. So.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Ooh,
Why was
okay.
6 afraid of 7?
Oh, say that again.
Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9.
Oh my gosh. And I was
Oh.
trying so hard to remember the solve to that too, because we used to say it back in the day in grade school. And I'm like, oh, I can't remember how this goes.
Yeah, I love the number games because there's so much there, and that's one of the things that's fixed. The greatest scam of them all is to teach us that 0 is empty and nothing. And so our counting is incorrect or out of alignment in some way. So that's kind of a fun. We could keep talking forever, but it's really late in Guardian land, so I should probably close this up, huh? Thank you, all of you. I feel like we're ending abruptly, but only because we have so much to say, and we really been talking for an hour and 15 minutes almost. But is there any closing remarks that either of you like to have before we finish today's show?
Well, I could say one thing. I'm getting told I did like a sort of mini spread reading before this. Okay. I've got like cards on the table as well. And I haven't referenced them too much, but I want to say before we leave, there's some missing information. Okay. And that's been coming up in a lot of channel messages of mine too. Like something that you guys are afraid of or don't know, or just some piece that's missing. It might feel cloudy. You might feel maybe even stagnant, but just hold on. hold on. There is magic being created.
Yeah.
There is something coming in your life. We are learning to create collectively, more efficiently. And so it's going to go both ways. As you learn to create from within, bring it from within to without, right? The without is a reflection from within. Believe it, believe it, believe it. Don't give up. Whatever it is that where the information is missing. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I keep getting that strong for a whole lot of you, okay? Just keep going.
I will do that. Okay.
And me too, Guardian, because I think we're all in this boat. It's not just you guys, it's me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a fascinating month. We've got a lot of stuff going on. There's also, we're in Lent. We're doing that whole thing, Lent. So we have all that lining up. There's so many different calendars that have distorted where we are, but we can feel it, and that's what matters. It's fun. It's a fun thought experiment to explore what the answers to these things are. But in the end of the day, what matters is, how does it feel to be in your own space? Are you in a place of love or in fear? If we're in fear, let's do something about that, because fear is not the aligned place. There's two different main emotions. It's love and fear. Those are the root of all other emotion. Anger, shame, guilt, low self-worth are all close to fear, but they're not fear. Fear is the base of it. And so too is love. We had a whole spectrum of emotion in between. The encouragement here is, if it feels like fear, move closer to the love and away from that thing, which is why most of us have turned off our television sets over the years, which most of us don't click as much as we used to. Things like that. If it has fear mongering or fear porn, some people call it, it's not worth your engagement, especially not right now, because you are super computers that are manifesting the reality in front of you. What are you going to choose to manifest today? Right? Thank you, everybody, for being in today's show. We could go on for longer, but we're not going to because it's time to go. I just do want to remind everybody that we are doing a Zoom meeting today in a couple of hours. For anybody who wants to join us, it's free. You will be able to find that link to that in their Telegram group, as well as in the community section of this YouTube channel. And then on Friday, for Friday the 13th, Kaz Kelly's coming on. She has so many different channels, but she's the one that came on and did the really cool tapping thing with us and showed us how to do that. She's going to be on the show if she's not in the hospital to invite or welcome a new baby into the world into her family. So she may not make it. And if she doesn't, I'm still going live. I don't know if I'm going with somebody or alone, but that's going to be on this Friday. So I look forward to seeing all of you once again at that show. And thank you, both of you, so much for this great conversation. And I look forward to meeting with you all again in the near future. If we can, that would be amazing.
Thanks for having us, as always.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have an awesome week, and hopefully see you soon.
You too. Yes.